Are listening to WDXE 105.3 FM and 1370 AM. And y'all, I'm excited. I'm filling in for Jeff Hood today. This is weird. I've never been the DJ before.
Hey, you're going to do
All right,
great,
you
man.
are listening
We
to
love you, Maddie. You're going to
WDXE
do great.
105.3
You're doing great.
FM and 1370 AM. And y'all, I'm excited. I'm filling in for Jeff Hood today. This is weird. I've never been the DJ before.
Hey, you're going to do
I'm not really sure what's going on right now. We
We're-
may have to take a quick break and get Lonnie in here to see what's going on.
If you have a dog,
But-
watch this.
a little bit of technical
Yes,
difficulty here
and
this
I
morning.
don't know what's going on there. I think I fixed it, but our camera isn't working. So I'm hoping I've rebooted it. So I'm hoping that it'll eventually start working, but at least they're able to hear us.
There you go.
So
Hey,
I'm
let's
going to
do-
work on that. But my special guests today are Tommy Lee and Abigail.
It's the Maddie and Abigail show this morning.
Well, Tommy Lee, you're here too.
Well, you know, I'm not
We know
important.
you like to talk a lot.
You two are the most important, okay? It's the Maddie and Abigail show this morning. How about that, Abigail?
Yeah.
Hey, while Maddie's working on that, Abigail, you want to tell people what's coming up? The 9th annual Abigail's playing.
Woo, yeah, vamos!
Woo! We got a bull riding coming up on August the 26th over at Rotary Park. Like every year, we have Abigail. What time do the gates open?
At
5 o'clock. 5 o'clock, the gates open. And listen, you want to be there at 5. The reason you want to be there at 5 is to get you some good food, right? We're going to have food vendors all over the place.
That's right.
It's going to be great. We'll talk about our food vendors here in just a little bit, who all we're going to have. But we're also got something very, very special going to happen this year that happened last year, and it went so well. He's coming back, Maddie. It's John Ezel and the Fried Cornbread Band. They are going to start playing at 5:30.
Do you dance, Abigail?
Oh, yes. We do some singing.
I think it's injury from dancing.
She got injured from dancing, Maddie. She was doing the Macarena, and she does a really, really great Macarena. And we ended up at Dr. Thomas's office with a back issue from Abigail.
Really?
We really did. Yeah.
You got
So,
them hips moving, didn't
that's
you?
exactly right. She did. She did. You want to show Maddie how you did that?
No.
Okay.
Why?
Because
We'll do that here in a little bit. We'll show Maddie how you do the Macarena. So, but hey, 5:30 is John Ezel,
Yeah.
our buddy John Ezel, the Fried Cornbread Band, gonna be playing a concert, and then at 7 o'clock, it's gonna be a wonderful event. The bull riding's gonna start. So John's gonna play all the way up to bull riding time. And then Tony Keaton, Rockin' K Rodeo Productions, we appreciate them so much. He brings his bulls and broncs. Maddie, we have become a IPRA sanctioned event. That is International Professional Rodeo Association sanctioned event. What that means is these cowboys coming from all over the country are not only coming just to ride for buckles and for money, they're coming to ride for points to try to get to their Super Bowl of bull riding at the end of the year.
That is
Yeah,
awesome.
it's pretty awesome.
So, how many years have you been doing
This
this?
is the 9th annual, so we got 8
You
years.
know, I remember the first rodeo.
Do you, Maddie? What was
I
it,
do.
about 12?
No,
You know, 'cause
I was 21. No, I was actually 23. I'm still acting like I'm 30.
you were actually the age Abigail is right now.
Mhm.
She just turned. How old you just turned?
20
How old will you be next year? How old will you be next year, Abigail?
24.
24 next year.
Well, next
Abigail
year.
starts talking about next year's birthday right after this one.
Hey, I'm the same way.
Right
You
after
can
my
ask
birthday.
anybody here. We celebrate the whole month of
Well,
September
that's
for
what
my
I'm saying.
birthday.
It's Abigail's birthday month.
Yes, that's me.
So she had to have Bluebell ice cream and something special to eat on July the 31st. because it was the end of her birthday month.
Yeah.
Her birthday's July 16th. So, but hey, we are really excited about our Bulls and Barrels this year, and we have some wonderful sponsors and things like that. We're going to be giving away some tickets this morning on the radio as well.
Okay.
So, yeah, we're going to solve some world problems this morning during our hour-long show and talk about Bulls and Barrels, talk about whatever you want to talk about, Maddie and Abigail, whatever y'all want to talk about. But we do want to really encourage everybody to come out to Bulls and Barrels. And one important thing, Maddie, that we believe in at Abigail's plan is we believe in transparency and letting people know what we're doing with the money.
Kids are on the free.
Kids 5 and under are free.
Right,
Yeah, we'll talk.
right.
Hey, we need to talk about that too. But the money that comes through the gate, Maddie,
Right.
in the inception of Abigail's plan back a long time ago, we wanted to provide facilities and opportunities for people with special needs. And that's what Abigail's plan is all about. So we've got our wonderful baseball field that you've seen, Maddie. It's just an amazing thing. The whole community came together, and we can all be proud when we drive by there, and everybody can say, hey, I had a part in that, and I've got a stake in that. So we're all working together, helping out people with special needs. But one thing Abigail's plan wanted to do, we didn't want to stop there at the baseball field. We had the vision of building disability accessible playgrounds here in Lawrence County. We do not have a playground in all of Lawrence County that a child in a wheelchair can play on the playground equipment. It just doesn't exist here. So we are so excited to announce
Now,
the first payment has been made
Made.
on the first
first.
all-inclusive disability accessible playground to be constructed in Summertown.
Downtown.
And that construction should be complete by Thanksgiving of this year.
Thanksgiving or Christmas.
Thanksgiving or Christmas, yeah. Hopefully by Thanksgiving.
Well,
though,
she
Abigail.
knows how the building process
you
goes.
go. That's right, that's right.
Yeah.
She knows.
So, Maddie, we teamed up, Summertown community, Aaron George, her crew, and Ricky Mabry and their crew down at Summertown did a great job over the years of raising some money for a all-inclusive playground there in Summertown. We found out about it. We reached out. We got together, and we were like, hey, there's no need in both of us doing the same thing separate. Let's team up because that's what we're supposed to do. You know, Jesus came to the earth to show us how to work together and help folks out. So we called them. They called us. We talked. We met. And we teamed up together, and the dream is becoming a reality, Maddie. It is just awesome, and we are so excited that we'll be breaking ground somewhere in the October time frame on that playground down there. So that'll be the first all-inclusive playground in Lawrence County. We have teamed up with the Kiwanis Club to do something here in Lawrenceburg. And then we're going to Loretta to do something down there as well. And we'll be working with the folks down there in Loretta to see what we can do too. So this is an ongoing project. We can't do this. Usually we can't do this quickly, Maddie, because it takes a lot of money. I mean, this playground down in Summertown is $300,000 plus, and so it's going to be a great project. And we're so excited. We're going to use it as a template going forward. So everybody that comes to the Bulls and Barrels and buys a ticket to come to the Bulls and Barrels is going to be helping construct that playground down there and other playgrounds in the county as well. Is that pretty cool?
That is awesome.
It's pretty cool.
So, I mean, we've got time. We got till 9.
Yeah.
So, I want to go over and, you know, I look back and at the radio station, I have met tons of people through the years, and tons of people have turned into great friendships, family. And, you know, before I started working here, I knew who y'all were, but in that process, I've grown to love y'all, and y'all have turned into family. And I just love the story about how Abigail's plan got started.
So back in the year of 2000, and I'll make this brief. I'm not going to go through the whole entire details of everything, but back in the year of 2006, Abigail played softball here at our wonderful softball facilities here in town, and it was a great year. We realized at that time there were some limitations, so we looked for an alternative. So we started playing softball or baseball at the Challenger League in Columbia the next year in 2007. We played there for a year.
It's on Sunday. I can't say it's not open.
We learned some things that we thought that we could improve on. So we came down. We learned how it worked, and they had a great league up there. So we came down here to Lawrenceburg, and we talked to our wonderful friends. And our good friend, our new county clerk, Russ Brewer, was the president of the league down here at that time. And we asked Russ, we said, Russ, is there any way we can start a baseball league for kids with special needs? And he and the board got together, and they said, absolutely, we'd love that. The one request we had that was a little different than in Columbia, and that's fine. It was great in Columbia. But the one request we had was, can we play during the regular season of while the other games are going on? So they were very gracious to give us Thursday nights to start off with. We started with 11 players. We just divided those players up, and we had some sponsors jump on and help us buy some uniforms and things like that. And we started with 11 players, divided up, and started playing baseball. In a couple of years, what happened, Maddie, was I'd look up and I'd notice that our stands were completely packed every game. And what was happening is the folks that were playing on the other fields, we have wonderful baseball facilities here. The folks that were playing, that had their kids playing on the other fields, they would start coming an hour before the game, their game started, to watch our game. Or while their kid was in the field playing, they would meander over to our stands and watch our game. And we had so many parents to tell us, hey, I thought I was coming to the ballpark to play a ball game and win a ball game. And when I see your game with your players with special needs, and some of our players had wheelchairs and walkers and things like that, they said, I realize that I need to be happy that my child can just walk across the field. It now becomes not so much about winning a ball game. So it's a perspective thing when you see our game. Then we grew to 59 players, from 11 to 59 players by the year of 2014. And God gave my wife, Lisa, he trusts her a whole lot more than he trusts me. He gave her the vision of, hey, we need to try to help these players with wheelchairs and walkers. Yes. The grass and the dirt was hard to navigate with all this equipment. And so we found the Miracle Field. And we were like, oh, my goodness.
When we were having a trophy night, we come up and say, we're all ready for the rubber.
That's right. So we went and looked at a field in Alabama.
Yeah.
And we were like, this is what we need to strive for this. And we prayed about it. We started Abigail's Plan on May the 19th, 2014. And we had $7,500 of initial money from the Krause Foundation. That's all we had. We didn't have any money to start with when we prayed about it. But here's the cool thing. Maddie, we prayed and prayed and prayed, and I prayed a crazy, impossible prayer. You know, me and Emerson in our church here not too long ago, he said, when we pray, we need to pray impossible prayers because God is the God of impossibilities. Here's the prayer I prayed, Maddie. We prayed, God, if this be your will that this gets done, let something happen that people give money for this project without us asking and without us doing anything. Now, that is a totally impossible prayer. We launched Abigail's Plan, and 2 weeks later...
Cold water
The
challenge.
cold water challenges, like Abigail's saying, started. People pouring water over their head and giving money for an organization. And somebody out west of town poured water over their head and said, hey, I want to give money to Abigail's plan, and I challenge this person, this person, this person. And it started going. We had so many people walking into the beauty shop giving money. Lisa had to put a bucket up front, giving money for pouring water over their head. Lisa had to put a bucket up front and said, Abigail's playing money. And to date, $14,000 was collected of people pouring water over their head. Now, that is just...
See, I had never heard that part.
I mean, it's so cool.
$14,000 by people
$14,000
pouring water over
of the
their head.
ice bucket challenge of people pouring water over their head. And it was just amazing. The whole community started jumping on board. Lisa, Abigail, and I pretty much did not live at home for about 3 years.
About spaghetti supper.
They would call us south of town and say, hey, I'm having a spaghetti supper for Abigail's plan. North of town, I'm having a bean supper for Abigail's plan. I'm having a hamburger steak supper for Abigail's plan. Everybody jumped on board, and we were going like crazy to all these places. And
We're
people...
at home in 3 years.
3 years we were... But
Were you exhausted?
But
it
ate
was
good,
worth
didn't
it.
we? We would go to churches, do presentations. It was just wonderful. That's what kind of community we live in here. Mm-hmm. That's why people are now flocking to Lawrence County, because of the community that we have. And what started as an impossibility, Maddie, see, I am terrible about limiting God. Okay. Mm-hmm. My prayer was, God, if you can let this happen in 10 or 15 years, that'd be great. But I probably really didn't have the faith that we could raise, that he could allow us to raise $400,000 or $500,000 to do this. And in 73 weeks from the time we launched Abigail's plan in 2014, we had enough money in the bank account starting at zero. We had almost over $350,000 in the bank account. And we're like, hey, this is going to happen. Let's go. So several of us got together. We signed a note for the money we thought we would need for construction. And then another miracle happened. Abigail said we burned the note. And we did burn the note in 2019.
I remember that.
Yes. But another miracle happened. The other miracle that happened was when we started constructing the field. I was sitting right here in the radio station when we announced what we were going to do. And I'll tell you who the first phone call was. Construction phone call. It was my buddy Chris Inman. Mm-hmm. Right here, I was sitting at the radio station. We were announcing Abigail's plan and our plan. Chris was riding down the road in his excavating truck, and he called me on my phone while the radio was going on. And he told me, he said, hey, whatever you need, I'm in. 100%, I'm in. Chris, a lot of everybody else that did construction work for us, they would come, Maddie, and they would say, hey.
His son passed away.
Yes, wonderful, our wonderful friend, right? Yes, Abigail loved Cody Inman.
Yes.
And he was a wonderful part of Abigail's plan, he and his family. And so people with construction started coming, Maddie, and what they would do is they would say, hey, we're going to do this work, and the only thing we're going to charge is the materials. We're not going to charge anything else. So by the time we're done, we have a $1.4 million facility, probably more than that now, with the prices going up. We have a $1.4 million facility. Mm-hmm. God allowed us to bring in a little over $600,000. And we were able to burn the note on it in 2019. I mean, we're talking about in the city of Lawrenceburg helped us with our sewer and things like that. But we're talking about no state dollars, no federal dollars, no, very little help from state, federal, county. This is all community. This is a community effort. And that's the magic about that park. Maddie, you've been there. When
Yes.
you walk in, there is a magic there. I have people come from out of town, and they walk to our facility with nobody there, and you can feel the vibe.
It's like happiness overload.
Oh, it is.
And you can't help but smile while you're there.
Oh, it's great. It's great. Our good friend Bobby Evers, Lisa does his hair, and that's why his hair always looks so good, right?
Right.
Lisa does
like
his
this
hair,
hair.
and into the design of the park. He was in Lisa's beauty shop chair, and Lisa showed him some pictures of some things that we've done. And he said, Lisa, this needs to look like Disney World when these kids come into the park. He goes back to his office and does a hand drawing of what he thinks the field needs to look like. And with the help from O'Neill Stanford and the other crew and Bobby working together and all the contractors and the construction guys, the field looks just exactly like Bobby's drawing, and it looks like you're walking into Disney World. I mean, it is just amazing, and we are so blessed, and we give all the glory to God for everything that happened. I mean, everything that's happening, we give all the glory to the good Lord above. The other key is Abigail's plan has always been transparent. We have no employees, so 100% of the money goes exactly to where it's supposed to go, Maddie. And that's I think that's key to anything. People want to know where their money's going and that it's being spent for the right thing. And I really struggled when all of this happened. I really struggled internally because we have a wonderful organizations in town that do wonderful work for folks. And I really struggled with why Abigail's plan was being blessed so much the way it was. I really did struggle with that. And I had a guy here in town that gave probably the best explanation that I've heard to date. He looked at me and he said, Tommy, he said, let me tell you something. I truly believe that everybody has good in their heart. Somewhere in their heart, God has placed good in everybody's heart. Everybody's sitting around wanting to know how they can help folks, what they can do. And then along comes Abigail's plan. The money's not going out somewhere. The money's not going to pay any, y'all have done a great job saying the money's not going to pay any salaries or anything like that. And along comes Abigail's plan. They know their money's going for what it's going for. We can already see what's going on at the baseball field. And it was just the perfect storm at the right time.
Yes.
You know, most things in life is God's timing.
Exactly.
And
I got a song.
we do have a song. Sometimes old Tommy Lee tries to rush God up. And when I try to do that, it don't work. So about 2 weeks into this thing, the good Lord showed me, he said, Tommy Lee, get out of my doggone way.
Yep. Move over.
Move over. You got to get out of the way. And let me show you what I can do. And I'm not too good at moving out of the way. I'm good at staying in it and messing it all up. That's what I'm good at. But he said, get out of the way. And it just got so big, I had to get out of the way. And then the miracle happened. When I got out of the way, the miracle happened. So we're just so thankful to all of the community for listening to the good Lord and providing this miracle in our county. We have people from all over the place that call us and come and visit and say, how in the world did y'all do this? I said, hey, first of all, we didn't do it.
God
It was the good Lord above using us all working together. So we want to give glory first to where glory is due. But he does use us all working together. And it's just a great story.
So go over, I think it's amazing, your numbers. A lot of people like numbers.
Yes.
For the numbers people out there. Compared to your first year and where you are now, how many kids do you have playing?
Yeah,
And I mean, I've been there. We have, Zaylee has a really good buddy, Will Henry.
Oh, yes.
We go to
yes.
Copper's Branch Church. Y'all, we love us some Will Henry. And he runs up to us and he goes down our aisle and he hugs every single one of us, even to, he calls him Baby Cal. But, I mean, Will Henry has touched Zaylee's heart, and he's a couple years younger than Zaylee, and Zaylee has ran with him in those pre 5Ks and stuff like that. We love us some Will Henry, and our softball schedule, Zaylee plays softball, so it never really worked out to where we could go to one of Will Henry's games, and I hated that. Like, I tried and I tried and I tried. Well, Zaylee decided not to play travel ball this year, and I was like, we are going to one of Will Henry's games, and we all loaded up as a family, and that was the first time that I had ever been to the Miracle Field. And y'all, when you say that there's a sense, you cannot be mad in that place. And if you try and be, it's not going to happen. Like, it is amazing what goes on in there, and the food makes it a million times better too. On top of that,
unbelievable.
Yep.
Hey, Maddie, I can't tell you how great it is for you to say that. I got Jesus bumps right here.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you, these are Jesus bumps all over me. Will Henry is awesome.
Awesome.
I tell everybody that parents with kids with special needs, we don't plan that.
no,
That was not Tommy Lee and Lisa's plan. That was not Chad and Greta's plan.
Yeah.
To have a child with special needs. That's just not in our plan. But God knew that Tommy Lee was too much of an idiot to learn to realize how he wanted me to live my life. Mm-hmm. Okay, so he gave me and Lisa Abigail, and he gave. And now I'm not saying that Chad's an idiot. Okay, I'm saying Tommy Lee's an idiot. Okay, but he also gave Will Henry to Chad and Greta. And through Abigail, through Will Henry, through Nessa, you just go down the list at our baseball field.
Yeah.
Through these folks that God has given us, we get the opportunity, and you see it at church.
At church.
When you said Will Henry goes down through there and hugs everybody, we get the opportunity to experience how God really wanted us all to be.
yes,
Firsthand.
I agree with that 1,000,000%.
I mean, Abigail lives her life, and Will Henry lives his life. Maddie, they have no ability to judge anybody.
Nope.
Now, I'm going to be the first one to admit, when somebody comes in, I've already in my mind, and this is just human nature, we all do it, except for Will Henry and Nessa and Abigail. We have in our mind, we already, before we even talk to that person and see what kind of person that is, because of maybe the way they're dressed or the earrings in places or the tattoos or what, we place a judgment in our mind. Okay? That's what we as humans, that's how our human mind works. Will Henry, Abigail, Nessa, Jonathan Adney, these folks that play baseball, they don't have that ability. They don't make judgments about people.
They just love.
They just love. They just love. Is that not what Jesus came to the earth to show us, give us an example of how we're supposed to live our lives every day? Money means nothing to this chick.
Nope.
I mean, it means nothing to this chick. And what messes our world up more than anything is the love of money, and it says that in the Bible. It's greed. It's judgment of how this person acts, how this person does, and they don't have that ability. He took that ability. the only difference in Will Henry, Abigail, Nessa, Jonathan, Edney, some other folks that have Down syndrome is they have a chromosomal difference.
Yes.
We all have 46 chromosomes, 23 pairs of chromosomes. On the 21st pair in Will Henry and Abigail, they have, instead of 2 chromosomes, they have 3. And we did some presentations around town about Abigail growing up and things at churches and things like that. And we called our presentation, God Doesn't Make Mistakes, the love chromosome that everybody needs.
Yes, exactly.
He gave them an extra touch of love that we all need, Maddie. And I get every day of my life, sometimes it's difficult. I'm not going to say having a child with special needs is not difficult. It is. But every day of my life, I get the opportunity and the privilege to live every day of my life seeing firsthand what God really wanted me to be like. And I'm telling you, it is just, it's a wonderful blessing. And you get to see that through Will Henry every Sunday at church and every Wednesday at church. It's just awesome.
Yes, it is. And the love that these kids pour out into the community, too.
Absolutely.
I think this field, and I'm telling you, like, don't wait like me to go. I mean, it's something I always wanted to do. I just, when you got 3 kids running around, the love that you have there, I mean, you're crying right now, but I mean, just watching these kids be able to do something that we never thought was possible for them to do. And, without this field, kids with wheelchairs would not be able to play ball. They get to come together and go out there and have fun, and they scream, they yell, they clap, everybody gets to hit. Like, it is one of the most amazing things ever. Like, it'll just touch your soul just to watch it.
Maddie, they want to be normal folks. That's what Will Henry, he just wants to be treated normal like anybody else. This gives him the opportunity to put on a uniform like his brothers and go out and play baseball.
Yep.
That is so cool. Now, here's the other aspect of that. I thought when this was created and God used, Lisa and us to get this up and going, and everybody jumped on board and it was great. I thought that it was for the players with special needs.
Yeah.
Just for them. Well, it was a couple of years in. We had a guy that somebody gave me a guy's name. And I said, okay, I'll call his dad, see if he could play. And his dad was totally against him playing. I mean, 100%. This guy was, at the time, he was 16 years old. Very, 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 very severe autism. And really had some issues going on at home. And his dad, I talked to his dad, and I said, look, I really think that this would be good thing. Totally 100% against it. Well, we talked along, and he finally let him come play. So he played throughout the year. We got rained out. This was 3 years in. We got rained out, and we all ended up over at, where we end up at eating, Abigail?
Mexican.
We ended up eating at Mexico. Abigail says we'll go eat Mexican. We go to Mexico. So go to Mexico. So we ended up eating at the Mexican restaurant here. And it just so happened this guy and his family was there. And this is towards the end of the season. He comes over to Lisa and I, and with tears in his eyes, he said, Mr. Kidd, I want to tell you something. He said, this ball game that I didn't want to participate in at the first has totally changed not only my son's life, it's totally changed our family's life. He was pretty much nonverbal before the baseball game. His communication skills were not there. He comes out here, we found out now that his his strength is physical ability. And let me tell you, he could run like a deer. we had trouble keeping up with him, okay? And his worker that comes and helps him, now she goes to the gym. So she got him a job at the gym helping clean up the gym. It has totally opened up his communication ability with our family. It's changed our whole entire life. So I realized at that point, God was showing me this is not just for the players. These parents, these caregivers are 24-hour-a-day caregivers.
Yep.
And Maddie, you saw some of our situations are pretty severe. This gives, and when people call and they want to sign their child up, I usually say, look,
Parents can't volunteer.
we don't want you to volunteer. We don't want you to be on the field. Now,
This is your time to
right,
be normal.
We do have a few exceptions, but we really encourage our parents to come to the ball game, go to our concession stand, get them a wonderful fried bologna sandwich,
Oh, they're so good.
sit in the stands, and watch your child do something that you never thought you would get the opportunity to see them do.
Exactly.
The best Facebook post I've ever seen, Maddie, was one of our players' mothers posted. And I don't think she'd mind me telling you, it's Mary Stewart that works at Builtwell
yep.
Bank. You know Mary, okay? About 3 years in, Jonathan started playing. Mary's son, he is absolutely wonderful. Got one of the best smiles in the world. And Mary posted on Facebook. She posted a picture of her holding up Jonathan's uniform. This is when we played on the grass and the dirt. That was very difficult to navigate. But she posted a picture of her standing over her washing machine, holding up Jonathan's uniform, putting his uniform in the washing machine to wash it, which most parents with kids that play travel ball and things like that, you dread washing the uniform, okay?
Yep.
Mary's caption on this post was, "Praise the good Lord above that I get the opportunity to wash Jonathan's uniform. I never thought that I would have the opportunity to wash my son's uniform."
You know, I think as a parent of a child that plays every sport known to man, you know, I joke with my family all the time. Boone doesn't like playing sports.
Right.
And I'm like, well, his sister makes up for it in every aspect because we play every single sport pretty much besides basketball. But,
Right.
you know, you think of things like that. And I am the type of person, I like to look at things as blessings and
Amen.
not as, I don't want to complain about them. So, and a lot of things, you know, I've been recording these nonprofits this year for WDXE, and I never realized just how much there's children in this county that have to be clothed. There's kids in this county that don't even have a toothbrush. There are kids that don't have a safe space or a home. They can't play sports, but as Lawrence County comes together and we clothe these kids, we give them the things that they need. And I feel so thankful to live here. But, you know, I get so mad, and I did it yesterday because Zaylee's starting fall ball and her pants are supposed to be white. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I've got to do white softball pants. And Zaylee's a catcher, so they're always 10 times worse. And, you know, I had a mom who was messaging me. It's her child's first year playing. And she said, how do you get white pants clean? I said, you don't. You don't. Right. You just don't. But then I got home and I started thinking about it. And I said, instead of complaining, I should have said, Lord, thank you for letting my child be active and doing something that she loves. Who cares if the pants are dirty? Who cares if I have to throw them in the washing machine 50 million times? At least she gets to do something she loves, because there's kids that are not able to.
Amen, Maddie. And You know, and you bring up a great point. We do live in a great community. There are tons of people that need help.
Yes.
And we at Abigail's plan with 115. You asked a question earlier, and
Yes.
I don't think I ever answered it. Now we got 115 players.
That is insane.
It's unbelievable. It's a praise Jesus, oh my goodness moment. All at the
Yes.
same time, we're like, if we grow more, what are we going to do? But we'll figure it out.
Yes.
God will provide. But that is just the tip of the iceberg, Manny.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we've got so many kids that are in situations that need help.
Yep.
And we do live in a county. Again, that's why people are flocking to Lawrence County to live from other places. They see, they see the Abigail's playing field.
Yep.
They see what the community can do because of coming together and God using us all working together. They see the values, the family values here. And that's something that, hey, I love people coming in, but we need to keep our values here. You know, we don't need to be changing like some of these other places that people are moving out of. We need to keep our family values the way they are. And that is very important. That's why you and I love to live here.
Well, see, and another thing I love about Abigail's Field is you'll go there and you'll see volunteers. And the volunteers range from all aspects of life to business owners that have $1 million businesses, to school teachers, to junior auxiliary donating their time, just to plain Joe Brown down the road. And when you see them out there with these kids, they're not worried about their business. They're not worried about anything except being in that moment and volunteering their time with these children just so they can have fun. And it's really fun not only to watch the kids, but to watch the adults running around those bases with the kids.
Absolutely.
So, and I mean, you're always looking for volunteers
Right.
for
Right.
Abigail's Plan and the Miracle League.
Yes.
And I mean, it's a blessing.
It is such a blessing. And the other thing, they're not looking to their business or they're not looking for any recognition out of that either.
They're just out there for them.
We've got so many groups. I hesitate
Don't
to start.
start naming names.
I hesitate to start
I'm going
naming
to tell
names.
you to stop
I'm
right now
telling you,
because you'll get in trouble.
I hesitate to start naming names. I do want to mention one set of folks that from the inception, from 2007, when we started this, the Elks Lodge came on board in 2007.
From the very beginning.
From the very beginning. Other folks came on board as well. But these groups, the civic groups, every civic group in our town has been involved, is involved. Tons of churches, businesses, individuals. Manny, I don't know. I was talking with somebody here not too long ago, and we were talking about our community and the involvement our community has. And I think this person mentioned, they said, I don't know of anything that has brought the community together. Every aspect, like you were saying, of every walk of life of the community has brought the community together, and all of the politics stayed out of the project like Abigail's Plan has.
Yeah.
You go out to our ball field and you see tons and tons of folks. Tons of folks that have a lot of money, tons of folks that don't have a lot of money, tons of folks that are in politics, religion, whatever, all walks of life, volunteering to help with Abigail's Plan. And it's not about them.
No.
I mean,
we got a Bruce Collier song.
we got a song. Our buddy Bruce Collier made a song, and hey, if we ever get to do this again, we'll play our song.
Well,
Okay.
Can I look it up somewhere?
I think we have it downloaded, but I'm not sure. It's called Abigail's Plan. But Maddie, we so much appreciate you letting us come today. And
in all the chaos this morning, I do want us to go over bulls and barrels because your microphone was off, and that was me trying to fix the video, and then finally I gave up. So I do want y'all to go over bulls and barrels one more time, talk about that event, and let everybody know what it's being used for.
So it is the 9th annual Abigail's Plan.
Bulls and barrels.
Bulls and barrels. That's right, Abigail. The gates open at what time, Abigail?
And 5.
5 o'clock. The gates open. We have John Ezel, our buddy John, and the Fried Cornbread Band coming to play again this year. It was such a wonderful, wonderful time of John coming and playing for us last year, so he's coming back. We have Gooby the Clown coming again. We have tons of food vendors. We're going to talk about that a little more in the coming weeks and coming days on the radio and things. But come hungry. Gates open at 5. Concert at 5:30. At 7 o'clock, we start the extreme bull riding and barrel racing. So we will buck over 40 bulls, run over 20 barrel racers in a matter of 2.5 hours. And guess what, Maddie? You'll have time. You'll get out in time for everybody to go to church next morning. So it's a great family night.
Your favorite thing about bulls and barrels, Abigail?
Food.
The food? You're like me. You're a foodie.
Okay, so Abigail works at the courthouse. Today is the day she works at the courthouse on Wednesday. She's a shredder. And she's a wonderful shredder. And we have wonderful colleagues that work down at the courthouse. She wants to give them a shout out. But Abigail, how do you get paid at the courthouse?
Food.
With food. How do you get paid when you work at the beauty shop? Food. So I told the county commission here not too long ago, I said, look, Abigail's the best deal that's ever been. She works down here. And the food that she gets paid with comes out of me and Lisa's pocket. It don't cost the county a dime. So, Abigail, you want to give a shout out to your co-workers there at the office, right?
Right.
Sandy Newton. Jody.
Tiffany.
Tiffany does our traffic stuff, and Jody, Hunter, and Cheryl Howe do our general session stuff, right? Who's next?
Right.
Tina does our general session civil stuff.
Carla
Exum and
Tammy Hardy.
Carla Exum and Tammy Hardy does our circuit stuff. Jennifer Springer does our juvenile stuff.
And
Mary does a whole bunch of stuff for us, don't us? So
and Abigail the shredder.
That's right. She says she's the assistant clerk too. So assistant circuit court clerk.
We gotta get. Well, why are you not wearing a suit?
I know I was it.
That's another story for another day. She does have a tag that says assistant court clerk, a circuit court clerk. So
that's awesome. But I mean, I love y'all.
Hey.
I love Abigail's Plan. I love the Miracle Field. It's amazing. And if you want to get involved, all you gotta do is call Tommy Lee.
Give me a call.
And the adults.
Go.
Okay.
Abigail is saying something that we haven't mentioned yet. How much it costs to get in?
Oh, $15.
$15 for adults. Okay. We see adults as, I believe it's 13 and over.
Okay.
That's $15.
5 to 12 is 10.
5 to 12 is $10, and 4 and under are free.
Free.
Okay. And free parking. It's just a wonderful night for, a family of 4, Maddie. Bring your kids. You got 2 kids. You got 2 $15 tickets for $30. You got 2 kids that are 5 to 12, $10 a piece. For $50, you get in the gate. You get a concert. You get a wonderful bull riding experience, and it's a great show.
Yeah.
Family-oriented show.
We got mechanical bull.
We got a mechanical bull you can ride.
Right.
We got all kinds of food. And it's just a great night.
Are the fried bologna sandwiches going to be there?
I think that the Lions Club has their booth open, and I believe they do smoked bologna, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah,
well,
they're great.
I'm just making sure because my first experience at the Miracle Field was Tommy Lee shoving a microphone in my face while I had a full mouthful of a fried bologna sandwich. And you can't tell me you didn't do that intentionally.
Yes, I did do that intentionally because I wanted Maddie to tell how good the fried bologna sandwich was.
Oh, it was so good. The food. I mean,
it's unbelievable. Donna Pack down at Chapman Tires does our food every year for us at the concession stand, and she does a great job. And we have churches that come and help her. First Baptist Church and Pulaski Street Church of Christ. They helped us with our concession stands this year. It was just great. We want to run down our sponsors real quick.
Okay, perfect.
We can't do this. Is a very, very expensive event to put on. I mean, it's very expensive. And we work with Tony Keaton and Rockin' K Rodeo Productions to put this on, and they're great. But we have Tractor Supply, Legend Steakhouse, Bankston Motorhomes, Gina Old with Remax Pros, Chapman Tires with Southern Lawn and UTV. Our buddy Jim Fleeman with Fleeman Carriers, Jim and Janine. We have JM Cattle Company outside of town. You know some of them over there. You go to church for some of them. Heritage Automotive, our friends there, and Etheridge, Summertown and Loretta Child Care, Heath Hill Construction, First Farmers, and
McDonald's 40 years ago.
McDonald's. So what she said, 40 years ago, I worked for Gina Bastone Wolf, her and her family. I worked for 4.5 years in Columbia at McDonald's for the Bastones.
That's awesome.
And they ended up buying, all the McDonald's around here from Miss Bush. So they have come on as wonderful Bulls Merrill sponsors for us.
That is awesome.
So it's great. They're great folks.
Abigail, before we go off air, tell everybody what event they need to go to.
The 9th annual Abigail's playing.
Can you tell everybody bye?
Bye.
Hey, we love y'all. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody, for all your help.
Bye, guys.
The ocean. America's listening to Fox News.
Hey, it's Jesse Kelly. When a restaurant closes, my reaction is, that sucks.